So you've got a friend, and that friend is moving towards you with a constant velocity, or a constant average velocity, the same actually, of 1.2 meters per second. And when the two of you are 80 meters apart, you start to run towards your friend with a constant speed of 4 meters per second. So your friend moves towards you with a constant speed of 1.2 meters per second. When you're 80 meters apart, you start to move towards your friend with a constant speed of 4 meters per second. And the question is, how far from your initial position do the two of you meet? Right, so when we mean how far from initial position, we mean this is your initial position, and you and your friend will meet up somewhere in between. Let's say, we don't know what it is, so let's give this thing a name, x. So we need to calculate the value of x. How far from your initial position do you meet up with your friend? So we have got a relationship between distance, between the time it takes to travel a distance and the speed you do it at. So let's look at what we can write down just for you. Okay, if we use our definition of speed, we know this is equals to the distance traveled. So you will travel a distance of x to meet your friend, divided by the time it takes. And the only thing we really know here is that this must be equals to 4 meters per second. If we write this down for your friend, so we're only interested here in speed, so we're not going to bother with the fact that you and your friend are moving in opposite directions. So the speed of your friend, so if you move amount x meters, your friend will move that distance. So 80 meters minus x. So your friend travels a distance 80 minus x in the same time interval, because you meet up at the same time. So we can make time the object of this equation. So we have that time is equals to x divided by 4. If I look at that, I want to make time the object of the equation, so I multiply by delta t on both sides, divide by 4, and this is what I get. Right, so I can get the time interval. Don't yet know numerically what it is, but at least I can write on an expression for the amount of time it will take me to travel this distance. Same thing for your friend. We know your friend travels at a speed of 1.2 meters per second. So if I multiply by delta t on both sides, those cancel, and then I divide by a 1.2 meters per second on both sides, what we get is that 80 minus x divided by 1.2 is equals to a time interval. But remember, you meet up at the same instant. I mean, it's impossible to meet your friend if your friend is not there. So however long it takes you from when you see each other, your friend takes x amount of, or delta t amount of seconds, you take delta t amount of seconds. After that, you're both at the same spot. So we can put these two things equal to one another. So we can end up with an equation that says x over 4 is equals to 80 minus x divided by 1.2. So if we multiply, if we cross multiply, we can say this means 1.2 times x is equals to 4 times 8 minus x. So we have 1.2 times x is equals to 320 minus 4x. So we've got that 5.2x is equals to 320, and what we get is that x ends up being 61.5 meters. Right, so you travel 61.5 meters from where you started, and then you meet up with your friend. The next question that we can ask is, how long will it take you? So how long will it take to travel that distance? Well, again, we know your average speed is equals to the distance traveled divided by the time taken. We have already made time the object of this equation. We said this is equals to x divided by 4. We have now found x, it's 61.5 meters, divided by 4 meters per second. And this gives you the requisite amount of time, and it takes you 15.4 seconds to meet up with your friend.